Once upon a time a very wealthy conglomerate wrote a will, whoever wants to accompany me for 40 days in the grave after I die, I will inherit half of my inheritance. Then he asked his children if they would be able to look after him in the grave later. But his children replied, "It's impossible for us to be able to look after father, because at that time father was already a corpse." The next day, called all his younger siblings. And he again asked, "My brothers and sisters, can any of you accompany me in the grave for 40 days after I die? I will give half of my wealth." His younger siblings replied, "Are you out of your mind? How could anyone be able to be with a dead body for that long in the ground?" Then sadly the conglomerate called his aide, to announce his special offer throughout the country. Finally, the day came when the conglomerate returned to Ramachula. His grave is decorated magnificently like a most luxurious resting place with all the equipment. At about the same time, a very poor carpenter heard the announcement of the will. Then the carpenter hurriedly came to the conglomerate's house to inform the heirs of his abilities. The next day, the conglomerate's body was buried. The carpenter also went down into the grave while carrying his axe. The carpenter's most valuable thing is only an axe, to work for a living. After 7 steps the ushers left the burial area. Angel Munkar and Nakir came to the grave. The carpenter realized who was coming. He immediately moved a bit away from the conglomerate's corpse. In his mind, the time had come for the conglomerate to be interrogated by Angel Munkar and Nakir. But what happened was the opposite. Angel Munkar Nakir even headed towards him and asked, "What are you doing here?" "I accompany this corpse for 40 days to get half of the inheritance," replied the carpenter. "What treasures do you have?" asked Munkar Nakir. "My wealth is only this axe, to seek sustenance," replied the carpenter. Then Munkar Nakir asked again, "Where did you get this axe of yours?" "I bought it," replied the carpenter. Then Munkar and Nakir left the grave. Tomorrow on the second day, they came again and asked, "What did you do with your axe?" "I cut down trees to be used as firewood, then I sell them to the market," replied the carpenter. On the third day he was asked again, "Whose tree did you cut with your axe?" "That tree grows in the wilderness, so nobody owns it," replied the carpenter. "Are you sure?" continued Angel. Then they disappeared. Came again on the 4th day, asked again, "Are you cutting these trees with this axe according to their size and the same weight for sale?" "I just cut it roughly, how could it be the same size?" said the carpenter. That's what Angel Munkar Nakir has been doing, coming and going until now 39 days have passed. And what is being asked is still about the axe. On the last day of the 40th, Munkar and Nakir once again met the carpenter. Said Munkar and Nakir, "Today we will again ask about your axe." Before Munkar Nakir could continue his question, the carpenter immediately ran upstairs and opened the door of the tomb. It turned out that there were already many people outside who were waiting for his presence to come out of the grave. The carpenter rushed out and ran away from them shouting, "You guys just take all this part of the inheritance, because I don't want it anymore." Arriving at home, the carpenter said to his wife, "I no longer want half of the inheritance from the corpse. In this world, the treasure that I have, even though it's only this one axe, but the angels of Munkar Nakir for 40 days that they ask and question are still around this axe. What if I have so much wealth? I do not know how long and how I answer it."